Oh, should be live any second here. Hey, there we go. All right. What's up, Q?
What's up, Matt? Day 2, man. Let's go.
Yeah,
It's
heck
crazy.
yeah. Absolutely, man. I'm pumped to do this. So, guys, jump in the chat. Tell us hello. Start networking. We talked about this yesterday. Is a great opportunity to be teaming up together. We have plenty of people who come out of these challenges doing deals together and finding future business partners and finding future funding sources together. Like, we've had some really awesome things happen in the chat in these. So make sure to jump in the chat, say where you're based out of. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. If anyone's doing deals out here, I'm always looking to team up out here too, man. But we had an awesome turnout yesterday. Really, really great group. People jumping in. They were action takers too, man. I was just mentioning, as people jump on here, I was extremely impressed by how many people actually followed through and did the homework. So it's been a fun, first day on a day 2.
I love these challenges, bro, because they weed out the ones that are actually like willing to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, guys, I mean, look, I love doing this. And one of the things that I've done at an event before, and just to set the premise of all of this, right? I've been throwing real estate events, Deal Machine being a part of every single one, from boot camps to giveaways to speaking engagements. I've never not done an event without these guys. And let me tell you something, dude. Day 1, Friday, is always going to be the most poppin' day. Everybody shows up. Everybody's super excited. There's almost no room to walk, right? And so, people fly in to come to these events, right? And let me tell you something, guys. On Saturday, who's really there. Mm-hmm. Like, who's really there. Day 1, it's like, yo, we're all here. Oh my God, I want to meet everybody. Whoa, this is exciting. We're all here. We all want to make money. We all want to learn the same things, right? And then day 2 comes, and then on Saturday, if you don't start the event by 8 a.m., 9 a.m., you have to pay for that time on my end as the person who's hosting the event. And I can't tell you how hard it is to get every single person that was super excited on day 1 to show up at 8 a.m. the next morning for day 2. People want to party. People want to drink. People want to just mess around, do stupid stuff. And to me, what I love so much about these events, as we do day 1, as we do day 2, as we do day 3, by day 3, don't look to your left and look to the right like, wow, look at all these empty seats. No, be like, yo, I really want this more than other people. Mm-hmm. And I know I'm going to get it because I'm here right now. Yep. And so, like, look at how ahead of all of you guys are from everybody that joined on day 1. From my action takers that are in here today, don't look at the empty seats. Look at what's inside of your heart, because that's what's going to carry you into this business. And so for you, if you're here right now, I want to give you a round of applause for being a part of what it is that we're doing, because we've had almost 1/3 of you guys fall off. Now, people are going to be coming and going, joining and whatnot, but I'm looking at the people here that I was really talking to yesterday. Mm-hmm. Can I get an amen in the comments if I was really talking to you yesterday? If you're here and this is truthfully what you want for yourself, for your family, for your life, for your business, for what it is that you're trying to accomplish, for the legacy that you want to leave behind. That's what I like to see, man. And so for my hustlers that are here on day 2, I hope to see you guys again on day 3, but I want to set the premise and the foundation that it's not about the empty seats around you. It's about what's in your heart. God ain't going to care about, when you go to heaven, about who was sitting next to you at a real estate event. He's going to care what you did with what God gave you. And that's why you're here. All right. And so all my lovers and all my shakers, all my movers, all my hustlers, man, all you guys that are in this place, love y'all so much, dude. Drop an amen in the comments if I'm talking to somebody right now.
There we go.
Matt, I'm excited, dude. What's on the menu for day 2, bro?
And dude, you're 100% right. Real quick here too. I mean, I will say, like, it is easy to show up when the hype is there, when everyone's like, yeah, I'm ready to go do deals. And when it comes to actually putting in the work, when it comes to people who stick with it, actually put in the hard action steps of not just hypothetically, oh yeah, I'll do this, great, yeah, a lot of empty promises. The people who show up day in, day out, that do the things that other people won't, those are the ones that get what other people can't, right? So it is awesome to see the people that are showing up today. Today, like Q said, we're going to do a quick little recap, quick little intro, just to let you guys know, for the people who, if you might have missed the live event yesterday, that's okay. We sent out the replay. We're going to continue to send out the replay from today and yesterday as well. So you're going to have a chance to kind of catch up here for a second. We're going to go through and just recap for you guys what the challenge looks like. We've got one more day tomorrow. So today is kind of the final sprint to be able to finish this thing up, finish strong with the homework, really be able to nail this for the next 24 hours. And then tomorrow is when we're going to have a lot of fun with all the giveaways, with, having you guys use this as not just 3 days that are alone, isolated 3 days, but 3 days that are launching your next, rest of the year and into 2025. So we're going to be talking through all kinds of great stuff tomorrow, getting you guys excited. So today we're going to recap that briefly, recap yesterday's training briefly, and then get into the new stuff, which is all about, okay, now that you have this list of leads, now that you know how to identify the most motivated sellers in your market, what do you do with those? How do you take these addresses, turn these into appointments, turn these into deals? So we're talking through marketing playbook. We're talking through that crash course today, showing exactly how to do it inside Deal Machine, which again, we've got that free trial for you guys. So everything is provided for free in this free challenge. And then, Q, we're going to leave them with some homework and continue to see the people who are going to follow through and be the real action takers here.
Let's go, man. Let's go. I'm excited, guys.
All right, guys.
Let's jump into this and let's maximize our time.
Absolutely. So real quick, again, Matt Camp over here with Deal Machine. We've loved teaming up with Q for, years and years now. We've had over 10,000 closing on 15,000 deals done using the Deal Machine app to go out there. And it's our customers doing these deals in every single state. We're proud to say we're the highest rated and most reviewed app out there to go do off market deals. We have people like Q who you were on, and we talked about this yesterday. It was 2018, I think he said, doing a deal live on our YouTube channel, us recording you calling a seller and doing a deal right there on camera. It is incredible to see like how we've evolved since then, and how you guys have continued to push us and say, man, I wish you could do this. I wish you could do that. Like that's what we listen to and take to heart. And that is how we are evolving. And so on our end, that's a little bit about us and why we have any credibility to talk about this. Q, do you just want to reiterate for people why now is such an awesome time to be getting into a challenge like this and finishing this year strong?
Guys, how you do one thing is how you do everything. That's something that my mentor told me. You know what I mean? I challenge myself every single day, but I start the day with so much intention. There's always a goal. There's always tasks. There's always commitments, and there's always an outcome. And so when you live, walk, and breathe in your purpose, everything just comes together and seems to make sense. And so, guys, what we're trying to do for y'all is to create a structure that you can honor day in, day out, not just during this time frame of when we're doing this challenge, but something that you can take with you. If any of my people here have ever done the 75 Hard program, is one of the most challenging things that I've ever accomplished in my life. And I failed 6 times, okay? But it's very simple. He gives you 6 things that he calls irrefutables, meaning you cannot not do these things. You got to work out twice, drink a gallon of water. You got to take a selfie at the end of the day. One of those workouts has to be outside. One of those workouts has to be inside. You got to drink a whole gallon. You got to pick a meal plan and stick with it. So if you're eating 3 or 5 meals a day, that's what you stick to. If you're telling yourself no carbs for a whole 75 days, then that's what you're sticking to. I love the challenge so much is because what it does is it creates daily habits. And once we create those habits become who we are. You see, guys, we all have a paradigm of the way that things should be in our lives. The prime example of this is that we've literally subconsciously trained ourselves that when we get out of bed, the first part of our body that touches the floor is our feet. Did you guys know that is a conditioning method? That is something that you've been doing like subconsciously. You don't even argue with it for yourself anymore. And so for us, guys, what we're trying to tell y'all is that these habits that you create by honoring the day-to-day challenge is part of what this is. Once you understand that this is all that needs to be done, it becomes second nature. And psychologically, you can start doing this on a day-to-day basis where it snowballs over time and you're able to close consistent deals. And so, guys, for my people that are new here, this is the Find Your Deal Challenge. And so the premise of this challenge is that you're able to do this utilizing the steps that we've thrown into this whole thing. So that's my advice for all of you that are there. Create this challenge, not just for the days that we're doing it, but take it with you and honor it and make it a way of living. That's how you're going to get the most out of this.
Yep. That's a great reminder and it puts people in the right mindset here, guys. As well, yesterday we taught you the foundational basics of going out there and identifying those hidden opportunities in your market. Again, I'll briefly touch on a couple of those things today. And if you were here yesterday, awesome. You'll get another mental rep in. You'll be able to, pick up on a few new things. If you were doing it yourself, if you're out driving for dollars, if you're out building a list, if you're out using the AI to help you, like whatever method you were using from yesterday, you're going to continue to get better and you're going to learn through experience. And like Q said, the more you do it, the more systems and processes you build, it becomes natural, it becomes a habit, it becomes you in how you approach it day to day. So that's what I will reiterate today for you guys, and then we'll get into that marketing playbook. I do want to say, awesome job. It was people were jumping on here. Awesome job on the homework so far. Like I am incredibly impressed. We had like 22, 23 people turn it in, which that's a lot. Like that is a high, I do, a lot of trainings. That is a high rate for, if you look at people who showed up versus how many people did the homework, like you guys are action takers. I am very, I'm pumped to see that. I love to see that you guys are jumping in there, following through with the playbook that we're giving you, helping you not reinvent the wheel, like do what's been working, but be able to go out there and do it yourself on a time crunch. We only gave you 24 hours to do it. So that was incredibly impressive. Today's challenge assignment is going to be even more challenging. It's a challenge for a reason, right? Like we're giving you that playbook of what works. If you're willing to commit and do what other people won't, like you are putting yourself in a position to succeed. Both short term, those small wins, they will continue to add up to long term, big wins, right? So yesterday, the homework we gave you guys was to build that initial list of leads, those first 100 leads within your overall list inside Deal Machine there. Again, we'll touch on how to do that, so that way you guys have that that in your repertoire and get that other mental rep in. And if you missed it, right, hey, you're going to be able to learn it right now. So we'll catch you up, and then the new stuff will be what to do with those leads. So everybody who turned in the homework, you are entered into the giveaway. Tomorrow, you got to be there live to win. So tomorrow, we're going to be doing a spin a wheel, right? Everybody's name's going to be on the wheel that turned in the homework assignment from yesterday, before today. And then if you turn it in again, or if you missed yesterday and you have a chance to turn it in now, you will be on there twice. You double your chances of winning a prize that's worth over $2,000 tomorrow on live. So make sure to turn in the homework, get that work in. You have 24 hours here after this, after the training, and then show up. Make sure you are there on live tomorrow. You got to be on live to claim this thing and to win. And so Q, I'm pumped to be able to get into the new stuff, man. Anything else you want to reiterate from yesterday? There was so much just good energy in the chat too, man. It was fun.
Oh man, I'm so excited, bro. Guys, just pay attention, take notes as if you're gonna teach this back to me. And just make sure that you're present and that you have your phone on silent, because we're about to drop a whole bunch of game. So while you're here, please just pay attention. Also, Matt, just to make sure we having audio issues on our end at all. Like we're seeing that people are having issues here.
I don't think so. If you try to reload and expand the video, work from there. Interesting. I can hit. You want me to refresh real quick? Come back in the room.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
All right, here. I'll go first. Give me 1 second here.
But yeah, guys, just make sure that while there we go. Okay, cool. Well, we got people that can hear. Some people can't. It's okay. Well, hopefully it works on y'all's end. Let's jump into this, man.
Okay. Let's see here. I know you have to click on the screen the screen to unmute, so I'll put that in the chat there since they can't hear me.
Okay, cool.
There we go. Cool. Awesome. So it looks like we're good to go. So, and again, we will send out this replay as well for everybody. So take notes, but really, again, like Q said, be present. Continue to tweak on how you can get better and better and better at this. And as you put in the reps yourself, you're going to learn what works for you. Just know that, hey, this is the playbook that we hear working for people doing their first deal all the way to their 100th deal. Every state, every kind of market. We've been doing this for 8 years now with Deal Machine. Again, over 10,000 deals, closing on 15,000 deals, doing, resulting from a lot of these best practices. So, and then Q himself, I mean, you've got a ridiculous amount of knowledge to be able to share on all this stuff too. So with us two together, you've got some good perspectives to bring to the table. You guys will pick up, again, from our methods and, iterate on it yourself, but start here, get the homework done, and use this as a launching pad for, the coming months into the new year. So
let's go.
Let me share my screen here. I'll pop back over to Deal Machine. So Q, let me know if you can see that here. Perfect. Awesome. So what we touched on yesterday, first I want to start off with, again, our goal of yesterday's training was all about building your list of motivated sellers. And we gave you guys a couple of different ways to go about doing this. We talked through driving for dollars. So the idea of, physically getting in your car, driving around an area, looking for those rundown houses, looking for those houses that have signs of physical distress. They've got a tarp on the roof, gutters falling off, broken board up windows, the front yard, backyard's a mess, really overgrown grass. So, you know, it looks vacant, right? It's an indicator if it's vacant, or really overstuffed mailboxes. It doesn't have to be falling over. You know, I know we see good leads where it's just really outdated. Like it's got in town here, like the window AC units, the really old school aluminum awnings. One example that I'll share often too, Josh, our first hire, he was out driving around. He found a house that had Halloween decorations up, and it was like March or April the next year. And it was just like, you know what? There's just these little things that indicate, hey, well, for whatever reason, the owner of this property just is not keeping up with the physical appearance of that property. All of these indicators mean that is the number one predictor that someone is a motivated seller, is that they're dealing with a problem property that they don't want to deal with anymore, or they can't deal with it anymore. And you can present yourself as a solution. You can come in and listen to them, figure out how to solve their problem. You know, I love the acronyms you were throwing in the chat there. You know, the massive action plan, and you know, being able to find bigger problems, and you know, that leads to a bigger check in the end, right? It's how do you help people and identify the people that need that help. And so driving for dollars is going to find the most motivated sellers in your market. They're also the least competitive leads in your market, because they're the hard to find deals. They don't necessarily pop up when we're putting in these data filters or when you're looking at any other data source. So going out there and driving is first and foremost what we taught you guys. How to execute on that inside deal machine here for a second. Again, don't overthink it. Really, it's a mobile app and a pop over to South City. It's a mobile app and a desktop version, right? So here's the desktop app, obviously. Jump in the chat if you guys use the mobile app. I'd love to know if you were on, driving around yesterday on mobile as well. But as you zoom in here, you'll see all of my past routes. They change colors over time. They start green, turn yellow, turn red based on how long ago I drove these. And as I'm driving around, again, it locks onto my location, especially on the mobile app here. I'm seeing all these black dots around me. They're all the properties in real life. If I see a house 5623 Itasca in real life is run down, I click on it in the app, I hit add lead, it pins that property, and I'm on to the next one. So don't overthink it, guys. That was our goal, is to help you identify those distressed properties. Follow these simple steps. We shared a couple other pro tips that I'll touch on here in a second, but Q, what do you think I missed there in terms of driving for dollars and what we really focused on yesterday?
Yeah, the main thing as well, guys, if you're going to be out there driving, just make sure that you maximize your time, So if you can afford $100 worth of print, go get some signs made, go get some flyers made, go get some business cards made, put some letters, handwritten letters, start dumping them into the places where it needs to be, on these properties. And if you have bandit signs, man, hang them up upside down on every single part of that street, man, and the end of the road, and the corner house, corner lot, and a vacant area, wherever you see that someone would look at a sign and be like, hey, maybe I want to sell my house. So while you're driving for dollars, just make sure you're maximizing your time while you're doing this part. You know what I'm saying? This part's crucial, but just, you know what I mean? If you're going to be out there, be out there and really immerse yourself in what it is that you're trying to do. Marketing's marketing. The more marketing that you get out, easier that it is for you to catch that fish, man. You can go fishing with fishing poles all day, but when you toss a net, you're going to catch something for show. And that's essentially what we're doing right now. We're maximizing our time.
Love it. Yep. There we go. I mean, that's a great reminder there for you guys too. As you're out there, a couple other quick tips. And I saw, who was it? Michael had said the highlights. That's a great pro tip for people. You can pull up quick filters while you drive around and be able to say, hey, yeah, show me all the high equity properties around me, and select a particular seller motivation. So that way, hey, while you're driving around, again, first and foremost, you're looking for physical distress, but having this highlight filter as you drive around to help you kind of identify those super high priority leads that highlight, on your list. That's something that we see people have a lot of success with. So I'd recommend throwing on a highlight as you drive. We also talked through there's satellite view that's helpful for people to better easily match up the rooftops and things to the houses in real life. It just layers on that satellite image on top of your map. The tap to add properties feature, if you flick that on, especially if you're in an area with a lot of distress, a lot of qualified leads, it as it says, you can then tap to add the property. It eliminates a click for you and just makes it easier to build that list while you're on the go. So I recommend a couple of those different features there. I know virtual driving for dollars was a good secondary option for people in here, where if you are don't have a car, or you can't get out during the day, or we've had people use VAs doing this, or maybe you're not based somewhere physically that you want to invest in. You're investing in Kansas City, but you live in St. Louis. So whatever it might be, there's a ton of different use cases for it. This orange button up here can be really useful, where you click on that, click on the map, hit start driving. And now you are virtual driving for dollars, where you're essentially clicking for dollars, the same idea of looking for houses with physical distress, but doing it in a virtual way. And we have people doing this, literally on their couch with a mobile app. So you can do this pretty quick and easy. It's definitely a good alternative. I prefer the in-person one for many of the reasons Q said, of like, hey, go out there and, drop flyers and bandit signs and that kind of stuff. But if you don't have a secondary option, or if you want to have a secondary option, rather, virtual D4D can also be super, super useful, and still track your route and add leads that way too. So, awesome. So that was the D4D piece. That was kind of the first method we talked through. Secondly was list building. Q, is there anything else on D4D you want me to touch on, or can I jump into the?
No, man, this is fire. Let's jump into the list building.
Awesome. So, we also went through and, I can't remember which zip code we ran with. Let's do this again. If someone can throw a zip code in the chat for me, I'd love to help kind of demonstrate this one more time for you guys live in real time. We usually, within Deal Machine, this is usually a desktop version type activity, like the web app that we're using right here is what most people are using for the list building, but you can do it on mobile as well. Just a smaller screen. But what you're going to be doing here is, and here we go, Lewis put in 20850. Love it. So this top bar right here is your filters bar, right? We went through this yesterday, where you've got all kinds of seller motivations, property types, price points, bed bath. The more button is kind of the catch-all. If you can't find something, we have over 700 different data points you can filter by. And we're always expanding that. So you've got mortgage data, equity, demographic data, property characteristics, land and tax and foreclosure info, even things like transaction history or liens or HOAs, like all kinds of stuff to dig into there. If you go to this top filter bar, I always recommend starting with a zip code. So 20850. Thank you so much. Put that based in Maryland right here again. Awesome. So put that in here. We talked about starting with a zip code just for geographical, being a little more strategic geographically, right? It's great for having that kind of area to focus on, to really get to know, to really focus on with your marketing. So picking that zip code yesterday, we went in here and filtered by that. You'll see Deal Machine outline that area for you, and then on the right side is kind of the browsing bar, where it shows you all properties that fit the criteria you have in it currently. And then the bottom bars we're going to be spending a lot of time paying attention to as well. As we said, great, here's how many properties fit your criteria. And Q really broke it down awesome yesterday. I'd highly recommend rewatching that if you want to really get into more like that, the niche list buildings. I think Q did a fantastic job of that. But, we talked about coming in here, filtering by things like the property type and putting in single family homes, and each individual data filter we put on here, you'll see this property number drop. And so we assigned the homework yesterday of, okay, building that list of at least 100 leads, whether it be pulling a list this way, whether it be driving for dollars, whether it be virtual driving, doing a combination of these things where this data is super helpful, super valuable, but you can complete this list a little more quickly. Driving for dollars takes more hustle, takes more time, but you're finding the most motivated sellers in terms of just, bang for your buck, least number of leads to get to a deal is going to be driving for dollars. So doing a combination of these things is what I recommend. We gave you that homework of getting to at least 100 leads and really going through here. Again, I'd highly recommend rewatching how we broke down how to build a list like this, through with these filters. The high level piece of it would be going in and always having off market as a filter, your zip code and your single family homes. And then, based on this number, putting in different variables that are whether they be data points on the property itself, like property characteristics. So, year built, how long it's been owned, things like that. Or seller motivation criteria, where you click into these quick filters and see, oh yeah, show me all the properties that are, tax delinquent and high equity in the area. Great. Down to 379. That's pretty solid. or, show me properties that are going through, they're for pre-foreclosures, or they're senior owned, tired landlord. Like, you can start to layer on these different filters and find that really powerful intersection where you've got 55 properties here to be able to start marketing to. And you've got that kind of initial niche list that we talked you through yesterday, the thought process behind and how to get there. But
hey guys, what I love so much about like what Matt is showing y'all right now, it don't matter, because I know there's some people that are here that do more than wholesale. Like, I got certain people in here that are trying to buy rental properties, that are trying to do subject to, that are trying to do creative finance, And so what I love about this, guys, is, again, every type of list that you can think of is situational. And so what we're doing is we're trying to create a situation. And so how many of my people here that are doing deals like subject to? Drop a 1 in the comments if that's you. If you've been wanting to do a deal that's subject to, drop a 2 in the comments. I want to kind of just play with this and show you how creative that you can get. No one's ever talked about this. So I'm throwing out some secret sauce for you guys. And I'm sure that Matt hasn't even thought of this. And he works for the company. Okay. And so I'm going to be real. There's a strategy that I implement in my business that's called death to. A death to is someone who just bought a property, and I buy these houses 0 equity. I'm taking over the mortgages on them because I'm going to sell them on a wraparound. I buy these houses. A death to is someone who just bought a property recently within the last 2 years and is currently going through the probate process, meaning that the individual who just bought the house died. Everybody doesn't think about that. Think about it for a second. When you buy your first house, do you really think that you might die? No, but death is sudden, right? And so what we do in my business is we go back 2 years from today. So properties that were bought from 2022 to 2024, add that in as a filter. And if you see this in this general area, right, and maybe we might get one. If we get 1 or 2, these are great properties. They bought the house 2 years ago, and they're currently going through the probate process. That is a list stack. These are my favorite deals to go in, perform a probate or perform an affidavit of heirship, get the individual to inherit the home, then take over the mortgage payments. Now I bought a property through a probate process that is a subject to deal. Because the individual, again, if somebody passes away, 2 people buy a house 9 times out of 10, it's 2024. It's a very expensive time to be alive. When you go back 2 years' time, right, and you see a couple buy a property, well, 1 person dies, now 1 person is left with taking care of the mortgage. And what does that mean? That means that individual is more likely to sell that property and allow for you to take over that mortgage. You can add that to your rental portfolio, sell it on a wrap, sell it on, on the market. You could do a novation deal for something like this. You could even just wholesale this to a guy who buys property sub 2. And so this is one of those creative strategies that can really help you guys out with identifying a niche list. I don't even know if you might be able to pull one up, but is that a list that you've ever seen somebody make on the platform?
Not a ton, man. I mean, we see people, there's low equity. I have that filter in here. But last sale date, I put in between 2022 to today, single family off market, low equity in the zip code. I mean, that's 94 properties right there to go after. And
if we were to add the filter right now of probate, would that show me everybody who is low equity, off market, just bought a property? And would that pull anything up? Because sometimes that's such a niched out list, we might only get 1 or 2. So for me, what I do is I'll pick 5 different zip codes and I'll use this criteria on that in the event that I don't find any, because it's very, very niche, you know, so pick 5 or 10 different zip codes and then try the same filter. You can find something, again, the quality of the lead is based on the quality of the list builder. So if you're not building the quality list, you're not going to get the same output. That's just a very creative list to go after. Just wanted to give you guys some
that use case
on how crazy this can get. You know what I'm saying? So take this with a cup of syrup and a cup of sugar and as much sweet stuff you can throw in it, because it can get crazy. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of my favorite ways to use these platforms is to build what it is that I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? So play with it, guys. It's a freaking cake. You can make a cake in 25, 30,000 different ways. Just figure out what you want to put in it and you can make it happen.
Love it, man. Yeah, that's a great niche use case right there. And then once you're done with kind of putting all the ingredients together right there, you hit that build list button, confirm build, and it'll pull that list for you. What we did mention yesterday too is we do have an AI vision builder we talked about that's brand new, came out last week, where you're using AI to analyze the visual data of the property as well. So you can actually go in there and say, hey, you know what? Let me use this AI vision builder and look for properties that are distressed based on the satellite and street view images. Look for things like neglected landscaping. You're basically virtual driving for dollars for you instantly on the spot. And, properties don't have to have everything, but should receive a higher score if all signs are present. We have all of that right there built there for you too. It is 2 cents per property to do that. So it's definitely something that's not required. But if you want to be able to go in and take your list and instantly virtual drive for dollars on this list, just hit that confirm build with AI Vision. This will be $1.88 to do this for 94 properties, and it will do that for you on the spot and kind of work through and build that list for you too. So we'll see if we can pick a few needles out of the haystack. These are recently sold homes, so I probably don't think there'll be a ton of them that are physically distressed. Now that I think about it, but here we go. So we didn't you'll want to think ahead on like, hey, what's going to actually make sense for this AI to analyze, right? But you have that option too, in addition to everything else that you're doing. So
that is so cool, bro. Like, wow. I'm just like, come on, guys, that is insane. You know how much time you got to spend clicking to get to the houses? Like, I mean, I know that it's not the same as driving, but come on, man. Just show me the ones that are messed up and throw it in a batch. I'll pay $5 for convenience. I pay more than that on Uber Eats, bro. I pay more than that getting Chipotle delivered to my office.
100%.
So that is convenience right there. I love that. I love that.
So you got that option there for you guys too. So awesome. So that was really, again, trying to share some new tips. Hopefully you learned something new as well, even if you're on day one. I love the way that Q's thinking about these different use cases and how to replicate that inside the list builder based on our data set. The next step here is awesome. You've been out driving for dollars. If you haven't yet, go get that done, or building the list. If you haven't done that yet, maybe you can do it right now. As you're going through this, here's that Deal Machine free trial for you guys. I want to make sure you have that link pulled up. So that way you just have that ready to go. It's dealmachine.com/AW. That is going to get you 7 days free to follow along and do this yourself, to execute on the homework, to be able to get, again, finish this within the next 24 hours, and you can be getting in the grand prize giveaway. So you have that 7-day free trial all ready to go for you, with a bunch of bonuses that are going to be great for today, because today we're taking this list and we're taking that next step. We are taking it and saying, okay, great. I've got those 94 properties that I just built. Let me view this list. It'll kick me over to the leads tab right here. And now the next step is, what do you do with these addresses? How do you take this and get in front of them and get their attention and have a great conversation with the seller? So I can go in. I want to share a few best practices on our end. Q, I'd love to tee you up first, if that's okay, to have you talk through, like, how do you think about marketing? I know you talked about the bandit signs. I know you talked about, the in-person stuff, but if you could kind of break down how you think about reaching out to sellers, I can kind of show you guys inside Deal Machine how to execute on this stuff as well.
For sure, guys. I think everybody listening at this point need to take out some notepad or something. Start writing this down. It's very imperative. Before I begin my cold calling session, there's 5 strict things that I do, okay? And might only summarize them, and you don't have to do all of them, but to me, it's very important. The first thing is you reverse engineer the process. So my goal is to make a minimum of 50 to 100 sales calls in one day. Right now, it depends on how much time of the day you got. Some of you guys, you work in a 9 to 5, don't worry about it. Then try to call for 4 hours. Your goal should be 50. If you can make phone calls for a solid 5 to 6, 7 hours at a time out of the day, then the goal should be to make a minimum of 100 phone calls. 100 phone calls will lead you to the next piece. Before you begin your cold calling, it's so imperative that you set the foundation of what it is that you set out to accomplish. Guys, when I go to the gym, I always have a regimen. I always know what it is that I'm trying to do. It's in my mind what needs to be done, and I will not leave until I am done. I want you guys to have that same mindset. My grandpa used to tell me this all the time. We go fishing, right? He said, Q, if we don't catch a fish, we're not going to eat today. And I have taken that and driven it into literally every other category of my life. For some of you guys, that just might be an old timer telling you something about fishing. But for me, I saw that as a determination that I just don't see in most people when they set out to do something. And there would be times when we would not eat because we didn't catch a fish. And the next day we'd catch one, and then that was dinner. And so to me, that same analogy is what you need to carry with you when you begin your cold calling session. That's number one. Number two, this is going to sound so ridiculous, but I always make sure to do vocal exercises before I start my cold calling session. because it's going to be a lot right here, man. You're going to be talking to people all day. And some of these people, they might talk up a storm. You're going to be on the phone 5, 15, 20 minutes with a guy who's actually interested in selling. Be prepared for that. Also be prepared for the no's, the don'ts, the stop calling me, the I'm on the DNC. You're going to get all of this, right? But to me, practice. Practice doesn't make perfection. Practice makes things better until it's perfected. And so to me, one of my favorite movies from the 90s is called Sister Act 2. How many people have seen that movie with the nuns that are singing karaoke? It's one of my favorite movies, right? She does this thing because they're singing a song and they just can't break out of their shell. And she goes, fa la 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 la. So that's my vocal exercise. I don't care how ridiculous.
Not bad.
I do that before. Well, I'm a singer, bro. So there's that. But I do that before I start my session. So I make sure that I'm good right here. You know, I want to be able to project and have authority while I'm speaking. You know what I'm saying? So like that's number 2. Number 3, free up your hands. You know how many people do I got in here Hispanic descent, right? Ever saw your mom trying to get after you when you were a kid, trying to spank you? She said, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this? I cannot believe that Quentin didn't put the frijoles on the stove," right? And what was she doing? She's talking with her hands. Free up your hands. If you're going to speak with your hands. It creates authority, and you're allowed to literally move your voice and tonality with the way that your body's projecting. Free up your hands. Headset only, right? Number 4. I think that's number 4. So number 4 is have your script in front of you. Have your script in front of you. No matter what, guys, even if you've memorized it, have it. And make sure that you print it out, not just have it on a freaking computer in front of you. Print it out. Keep it in front of you. There's something powerful about having something physical in your hands. It makes it real. Otherwise, you're just reading letters and digital stuff on a computer screen. Put it in your hands. Use pen to paper so you can connect mind to what it is that you're trying to do with your hands. Take notes on certain parts of the scripts that you didn't like. Really go through the script process with really maximizing where you can make adjustments in your script, and be prepared to be hit with objections. And then the 5th thing, bro, it's such a small piece, but I'm going to throw it out for you guys, y'all. Smiles are contagious, man. You know what I'm saying? I spent a lot of money getting these smile where it's at. I'm telling y'all right now, these whites weren't white at one point, all right? Boy had yellow teeth. Mom couldn't afford to take me to the dentist. I spent thousands of dollars on my teeth. But I smile when I talk because I know that when I smile, it's contagious. You guys are probably smiling, looking at me like I'm a freaking psycho, right? But I smile while I'm talking. So smile while you're talking. It can be heard through the phone. Those are my 5 tips to have a productive session before you begin your marketing campaigns, right? And to me, you know, with the dialer, it's so imperative, especially if you're cold calling. What I love about Deal Machine is the dialer is integrated into the platform, and that is brand new. So I don't know if you guys knew that, but you can cancel a dialer subscription and use this now. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Really cool. Save a lot of money. So go ahead, Matt. I hope I dropped some information on that.
That was so good. Yeah, put a 1 in the chat if that was if you guys are following along here, man. I hope you took some notes on that. So again, we're going to be sending out the replays after this too, so you can kind of rewatch this. I'm just going to watch it to get fired up here before cold calling. But dude, it's something that on Inside Deal Machine, like you mentioned, we want to make it so that we're eliminating every other thing that you could be in your way to taking the real actions, which is talking to sellers, right? And so instead of having to go buy another dialer, learn that platform, buy a phone number for it, transfer over all these phone numbers into that, make sure the data is good, and then finally calling Inside Deal Machine, you literally click call and it just works. It is set up ready to go inside Deal Machine for you. With your free trial right there, you're getting 500 free cold call minutes included inside your Deal Machine trial there, right? And so we want to just take care of the homework for you by giving you those free call minutes. It's usually a couple cents a minute to call. The dialer is included with your subscription, so you don't have to pay to unlock that or anything. It's just a few cents a minute to be able to call. Or if you're just going to be working phones all day, you can get an unlimited license as well with us too. But all of that inside Deal Machine, all you need to do is you've got a couple things. One, you can hover over a phone number and hit that call button. You've got the DNC list that you can scrub right here and turn off and on. You've got this call button right here to start calling through your entire list. And then each individual property, check this out, You click on a property and it's got all of the property data right here for you. Everything around the mortgage, everything around the characteristics of the property itself, the land information, the tax information, the transaction history, the even estimated rehab costs, things like that, where you can come in and have all of that property data. You have the demographic data. So here's the individual owner, likely owner and resident. It'll tell you if they're a likely renter or a family member. You click on that and you'll see, hey, you know what? Tell me more about that person. Tell me more about their background. Tell me more about their portfolio. The contact information, their consumer info. You've got all this demographic data. So that way you come into this conversation and you're not just calling and saying, hey, would you like to sell me your house? You have these great questions teed up because you have all the due diligence you possibly need right in front of you. You've got all of that demographic data, all that property data. And then I know Q mentioned it, but inside Deal Machine now, we launched this about a year ago. You have unlimited free skip tracing, which if you guys, if you're familiar with that term, it's the act of getting phone numbers, getting emails associated with the property. And now inside Deal Machine, normally that would cost you 10 cents or more per property. So out of these 19,000 leads, it's close to $2,000 of skip tracing typically for that.
Can we break this down real quick? Hold on, guys. I own a data business, and Deal Machine kind of put me out of business. I'm just going to be honest, okay? The record is 7 cents. The skip tracing is 6 cents. That's 13 cents. How many records do you get with your subscription every month, bro?
The starter plan alone, you get 10,000 leads. So that would be what?
From my platform, that's $1,300. You're getting $1,300 worth of skip tracing from Deal Machine.
Yeah,
every month. Come on, guys. I buy data every month, and we want to take this and multiply that. That's $15,000 saved every month. We subtract the subscription of Deal Machine, bro. I mean, every year. That's just crazy. You'd be saving $14,000 to get your business off of the ground. One of the things that I know that took a lot of people out, the bigger guys, I'm just being real. I mean, like the dudes that had big YouTube channels that suddenly stopped making YouTube videos. The one thing that took them out was bad data and the cost of data. I'm telling you from experience, bro, from experience of running an office with 40 plus agents and over 100 people cold calling leads from my company. We had spent almost, I'd say a little over $400,000 on data. And You're telling me that you're giving away $15,000 worth of data every year. That's just insane, bro. Come on. Come on, guys. That's fire, dude. That's fire. If that's not a reason to get this platform, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like legit, if you're frugal, if you're barely starting into this business, if you're brand new and you're just trying to save money on data, that alone is all you need to start your business. You don't need 5,000. You don't need 20,000, 30, 40,000 records. You just need 2,000, 3,000 records that you're sure about. And Deal Machine provides that to you. Just want to highlight that, man, because it just blew my mind when y'all did that. And that's new. This is something that's new.
Yep. It's something we our goal is to change the industry there, and it's for you guys to make you not get nickeled and dimed. And it's something that we knew that the data had to be really high quality if it was going to be worth anything. Like even if it's free, if it's bad data, that's bad data. And I'll tell you now, Q, I don't know if I mentioned the latest, but we've had almost 2 million phone calls now through our dialer from our customers. It's like 20 to 25% contact rate customer wide. Like it is ridiculously high, which is, like good in the industry is double digits, 10 to 15% is considered really good. 20, 25% because the dialer is good, but also because the skip trace data is that good. So been awesome to be able to go in there and Lewis, to give you that I want to quote that number for you. We also the other day, guys, literally last week added the LLC owner match feature. So now we have corporate owned data inside Deal Machine now too. So if you go to any LLC owned property up to 5 LLC layers deep, we will include the agent and organizer of that LLC with the phone numbers. And historically, that data is terrible in the industry. Corporate owned skip tracing, really, really not good historically. To answer your question here, Q, before we added that new data source, we were in that like 70 to 80% range, like you said, on contact match. Now, single family homes nationwide, it is a 95% contact match rate because of this LLC data. So that is the biggest gap in the industry, where we just solved that last week. Put that out there for you guys. I can look to see if there's any examples in this list of a corporate-owned property. But yeah, man, it's something we just dropped a week ago, and super excited to be able to get this out there for people and include phone numbers, emails for corporate-owned properties. Here's a trust. Let me see if I can find a good. Here's an LLC. LLC. Click on that. Here you go. Here's the LLC agent. Doesn't have the organizer, but has the agent. Here's their portfolio of that LLC. Here's the phone number to call. So you've got all that inside Deal Machine now as of a week ago. Awesome, guys. So with this, what I do want to mention for you too, trust-owned properties, yes, Hector, are also included. The homework assignment for this week, as Q just went through, would be to take this action on this list. So you've got that list there, 100 plus leads. We want you to reach out to 100 of those individuals. And so that could be a couple different things. You can call, one click to call right there. We also have a mail button, which again, you're not going to get an answer today if you send mail. Like, I'd love for you guys to be able to get used to calling, get the reps in for calling, put in the work there. I always have the mindset of I'm going to get 50 no's today or 100 no's today, because then I know that every no I'm getting closer to my goal. I'm not intending to get a no, but if I get that no, I know it's still a win because I'm one no closer to that yes, right? And so if you can set that mindset for yourself of, hey, I'm going to get to 100 no's or X number of no's, that is going to help you accomplish the homework. You have that click to call button right there. You have the start mail button right here, where if you go in and hit start mail on a property, what you can do is that, and this is what we were actually originally known for with our Driving for Dollars, is the postcards we have in Deal Machine, where you can go in here and choose a postcard. You've got like 15 or so default ones. You can then choose how often you want it to send. So we'll say, hey, let's send it once a month. Here, let me adjust that for you. Let me send this postcard once a month, and let me have that repeat 12 months for the whole year and start mail. Great. And now I know I'm doing work in my sleep. I don't have to touch anything else. It's just going to automatically drop a postcard in their physical real world mailbox once a month, and it's gonna go throughout that, and I've got that all set up ready to go. And so that strategy of the short-term outreach, putting up the bandit signs, like you said, going out and being in person, then combining it with the direct calls and with that long-term nurture, that direct mail, that kind of marketing playbook, that marketing mix is going to set you up for really, really strong long-term success.
There's so many angles to look at the success of direct mail as well, guys. What I love about Deal Machine is that you can send one piece at a time, and you can also do bulk. But, think about your demographic before sending a postcard. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, guys, one of the most performing lists that I build on Deal Machine for my direct mail campaigns is sending mail to senior owners. If there's one thing I can tell you about senior property owners, is that they always check their mail, man. So I'll do senior owner, tax delinquent, vacant, and I'll stack all those together. And absentee owned, you know what I'm saying? So that way I'm sending my letter to someone who I know that's actually going to look at what I'm sending them. You know what I mean? But yeah, you can also customize your postcards. Yep. Matt's showing that right now. Can't you upload your own as well? Yep. Like if I have my own template.
Yep. You got blank postcard template right here. You can select, kind of, create your own from here. They also, we have different sizes. We have handwritten letters. So you can actually get, they're more expensive. Like our typical postcard, I believe is 50 to 60 cents for starter. I can double check that, but so ballpoint's going to be more, but it also is a much higher response rate. So it's like, if you have a really high intent list, then these postcards could be worth it that way too. So got a couple options there, but I'd say don't overthink it on the mail. You do want to have the right intent of, like you said, if it's a senior owner, that's a great example. But what I'll tell you is, just out of the deals done using direct mail, which most of the 10,000 plus leads or 10,000 plus deals using Deal Machine have included mail as part of their strategy in some way. Most of those have been our default templates. So I will tell you, like, the defaults are set up for success too. So
I feel like too, like, man, if I could add more to it, bro, because direct mail is such a crazy thing. If I do direct mail, I always make sure that I have like a free Google Voice number. You know what I'm saying? And the number that I put on my postcard, never my phone number. If I'm going to send out 100 pieces of direct mail and I'm going to get 8 calls back, that's great. That shows that every time I send out 100 pieces of mail, then I have an inbound ratio of 8. However, there's only 92% of them that haven't called me back. But sometimes some people get your letters, they'll call later. You know what I mean? So to me, there's multiple metrics to track it. Deal Machine will track the outbound of mail for you. So there's a mail center in here that will essentially give you the info that you can see on mail that is being sent. The inbound should go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, guys, you know, you're part of my community. I have scripts and stuff like that. There's a resource vault of everything that y'all need, from postcard templates, cold calling scripts, all of those things. I have somebody within that.
I did want to remind people of that, because I was going to ask you like how to have that conversation with the seller, but give me 1 second here. The call tracking, that's a really good point to bring up. So that when we launched the dialer a few months ago, this is also now included with it, where even on your starter plan, you get one call tracking number. So you can actually go into your mail, you can edit the design right here, go to your signature, and then when you scroll down, you'll see there's a enable kind of like call track ROI right here, where you can get a call tracking number. And that call tracking number, what it's going to do is exactly what Q just said, is that, hey, now it knows when they ring back that number to count that as a response for your direct mail. And so inside Deal Machine, you're going to be able to kind of use that for tracking your ROI and saying, hey, how much mail have I sent? And then, okay, how many calls back did I get from that mail? Awesome. Like, you know, it can kind of break that down now for you in there too. So I do want to mention that for you guys. I'll say, in terms of the overall approach here, Q, I know you've got like scripts and how to talk to sellers. Can you kind of break that down for people, like the community you've got going on, and how you can help people just get more and more comfortable talking to sellers?
Yeah, man. You know, so like every Saturday we have this thing, it's called group dials. And I got my community in here. There's a lot of y'all that are already in AW. So stand up if you're a part of it. But every single Saturday, I give leads to the community, real leads, people that my team are calling, people that we're getting a hold of. And we put those properties under contract. We close them. We split the fees with our community members 50-50. So it's like a Russian roulette type thing. We put everybody's name into a wheel, spin it, and then boom, we do it. You know, it's super cool, man. So that's every single Saturday. And it's a solid way for you guys that are watching this to also learn how to speak the lingo when you're talking to your motivated sellers. So yeah, man, definitely, guys. I put a link there. With that specific link, you guys can try out the community for 7 days for free. And I'd love for y'all to just stay and be a part of the movement, man, because you get things like this, VIP access. You know what I'm saying? You want to be the first to hear about these challenges. And I got a lot of my people in here, dude. So I love that, man. Love you guys. Thank y'all for being a part of the family. It's super dope.
So good, man. I love it. Awesome. So I want to make sure you guys have that resource for you as well. And then we can email that out here for you as well to have that link too. The last thing I want to do is I drop the homework here, because I know we've only got a few minutes left. When you join that community as well, if you're going to use the scripts from that, what I'd highly recommend, so I want to blow your mind one more time here. Inside the dialer, when you click to call, it's not just a dial out and then, you know, a dial pad and all of that. You've got actually what we would call an AI powered dialer. And what the AI elements are that, one, it's going to take notes on the call for you. So as I make a phone call, it'll actually say, here's Q, what he's saying, here's what I'm saying, here's what Q's saying. So it'll go back and forth with you and the seller, taking notes and transcribing the call in real time for you on the screen. It will give you a recommended next step. It'll give you notes from that call, like a call summary right there. But the coolest thing it can do is there's actually a little button in there that says, what do I say next? And you can go into Deal Machine and actually take that script that you get from the community, upload that into your application settings under dialer settings right here, upload it under our AI assistant, Alma. And the AI assistant that was in the list builder is also in the dialer. And so what you can do is you upload that dialer script. There's a little button, like I mentioned, that says, what do I say next? It will use the AI based on all of the deal analysis, the property data, the contact data, demographic data, all that stuff in there. It's taking that into account with our prompting and then that script, and gives you a recommended way to take the conversation with the seller. So it might say, hey, you know what? Ask why they're looking to sell. Ask, when they're looking to sell, the condition of the property. Like, it'll kind of prompt you with how to take that conversation next and help you overcome objections. It is, and especially when you upload the script into here, it will take that script that Q's giving you and weigh that in on what it's going to recommend to you. So you have in real time a way to that's really kind of like coach you through that process, right? So it is super, super useful for people that maybe are a little less comfortable with calling. And we've gotten feedback consistently from people who are like, man, I was definitely afraid of cold calling and I'm having fun doing this. Like that is, that's the biggest compliment we can get is like, I'm enjoying this process that I was terrified to do for years. So when you call, like that's what it looks like right here. You pop it open. There's that what should I say button. I'll hang up here. But here, no answer. It's kind of categorizing that for you, giving you somewhere to take the conversation, and you can just click to call that next one and keep going. So
I'll do it in so many ways too. I'll tell Alma, I say, hey, Alma, give me 3 separate offers, one for subject to, one for wholesaling, and one for creative finance.
Love
and
that.
Alma will literally spew out 3 variations of offers to present to your seller while you're on the phone with them.
So good.
And you just have to pop in the numbers and that's it. It'll do everything else for you. And I think that that's probably one of the most slept on things in this industry is how crazy AI can be used inside of this portal. And Alma is different than ChatGPT. This thing has been trained on freaking real estate. So this is like if real estate and ChatGPT had a baby. Alma would be that.
Well, it's got access to data that ChatGPT doesn't, right? Like it's where it's got all of the deal machine power right there, and then it's helping kind of be that layer on top of it. So, yeah, I love it, man. Awesome. So, real quick here, I know I do have to drop in 2 minutes. Unfortunately, I would love to do live calls on some future call too. Like it'd be cool to come in with the community and like show off the dialer sometime if that's okay, Q.
Yeah. I'll probably be doing a live call this weekend in my community on Saturday, guys. I'd love for y'all to be a part of this. You know what I mean? But for sure, like I'm down to do another challenge where we do live calls, and I will do them. You know what I mean?
That'd be fun.
I don't want to put Matt in that position. I'll do the cold call.
Yeah, I love it, man. No, I do. I mean, I do enjoy it, but I'll say before we do have to run, I want to make sure I get to the homework here for you guys. I'll say here is that link for you again. So if you go into dealmachine.com/challengehw, it's the same link as yesterday. We updated it with a new form. That new homework assignment is to take your list, those 100 leads, and reach out to them. So calling, we've got email addresses right there. You've got direct mail. You've got the in-person stuff. There's even a drive this list feature inside Deal Machine too. If you go into Deal Machine there and then hit drive for leads, one of the options in there, if you're on Deal Machine Pro, is to drive from a list. So you can actually go in and drive from a list, that bottom one right there, and be able to go out there and use it for door knocking, use it for it gives you GPS directions to your whole list. So you've got a couple options here, just reaching out to sellers to have conversations. We want to give you technology to make it easier for you, but that's the homework assignment. You've got 23 hours to knock that out. Reach out to those 100 folks in your list, and then submit that challenge homework assignment right there at that link, and you're good to go. So again, you got to be on tomorrow. So make sure to show up again, same time, same place tomorrow. You got to be on live. You got to do the homework to qualify. But we're going to be giving away a free grand prize worth over $2,000 tomorrow, and having a lot of fun. So
I appreciate it, Matt. Guys, round of applause for my guy Matt. Day 2. Let's get it rocking and rolling. I'll send the replay out here shortly, and it'll be uploaded to the community. Super excited, dude. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's rock.
Good stuff, Q. Thanks. See you guys.